Sherlock Holmes, before the legend began.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the channel, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Marty, and I hope you're doing really well today. We're going to be watching Young Sherlock Holmes from 1985. Anyway, this was a film that was suggested to me through a live stream that we did. I have no idea what this is, but they said that apparently there are certain things in this which were used to influence Harry Potter. I think we should jump straight in. If you want to see the full uncut reaction to this, you can see it over on the Patreon page or as a YouTube member as well. But without further ado, this is Young Sherlock Holmes from 1985. The music pieces to this and the whole shadow thing kind of reminds me of the start of Harry Potter as well. Sorry, I've already made reference to it, but love the old... Oh look, it's Ruby's mum from Doctor Who. In a cloak. Yeah, I love Victorian London. At least I presume this is London, it's probably not. You've just been murdered. Poisoned, maybe? Maybe something that's prolonged. Oh!
Here we are, Mr. Bobster.
Quail?
Your favourite.
Oh, pheasant. What the... He's imagining it? What is this? Oh, that was a really cool shot. Just split to nothing. Just sees it there all of a sudden. Yeah, it's just making him hallucinate, whatever that was. A hallucinogen, obviously. This cinematography! I don't know why some of this is reminding me of Scrooge.
Mr. Bobster!
It's because of the Victorian aspect, I know. It's like I don't want anything else to come to life. Oh god. Oh god, he's looking in the mirror. What?
Oh.
What is it? That was cool though. Just winks at him. What? Oh my god, the stuff of nightmares. Was this aimed at kids? I don't know why I thought it was. All in his mind again? Or... Look at the thing behind. Making him jump out the window. Yeah. All in his mind again. Okay. There's that figure again. What a absolutely fantastic start. And Steven Spielberg. Young Sherlock Holmes, my son. Nicholas Roy, where do I know that name? And Alan Cox. I feel like I know the names of the people in this. It's got a supernatural feel to it, and I quite like that. Film editor Stu Linder. I'm sorry, Stu. I'm going to redo your film. Stephen Goldblatt is the director of photography. Chris Columbus! He did Harry Potter, didn't he? So that's why, maybe some of the reason why Harry Potter looks so much like this in some ways. The following story is original and not specifically based on the exploits of Sherlock Holmes, okay? As described in the work of Sir Arthur Conan Doyle.
It was a cold, snowy day in early December.
It's just Harry Potter.
Plans had forced my old school to close. I was being sent to a new one. Now, I was in the heart of London at the height of the Victorian era.
London.
I was very taken by what I saw. The sight of my new school filled me with fear and apprehension. I was swept with a wave of curiosity.
I love this.
Nothing could prepare me for the extraordinary adventure that lay ahead. The extraordinary individual who would change my life.
Who be that? Well, bless my soul.
It's Harry Potter.
Yes, sir.
Could have said thank you to him.
Stop! Isn't it valuable?
What's more important, its value or my sanity?
I should have mastered the damn thing by now.
How long have you been playing?
3 days.
Perhaps you should be patient. My name's...
Wait. Your name is James Watson. Your father is a doctor. You spend a considerable amount of leisure time writing, and you have a particular fondness for custard tarts.
My name isn't James, it's John.
Yes, John. Deduction.
How did I do on the others?
You are correct. How's it done? Is it some sort of magic?
No magic, Watson. Pure and simple deduction.
Deduction.
The name tag on your mattress reads J. Watson. I select shoes are not made in the city. I've only encountered them once before during a brief visit to the north of England.
Rogues, aren't they?
Carrying the Hunter's Encyclopedia of Disease, handbook not available to the general public. It was given to you by an older person, someone very dear to you who was concerned for your health.
Like a father.
Your father.
And the custard tarts?
There's a distinct stain of yellow custard on your lapel. Well, your shape convinced me that you've eaten many of them before.
There's no need to be rude.
It was a bit rude, yeah. Thanks very much for that. Custard tarts, though.
By the way, what's your name?
Holmes. Sherlock Holmes.
Thank you for recommending this. I love it.
How does one go about fine-tuning a mind?
Problems of logic, mathematical equations, riddles. For example, Watson, you're seated in a room with an all-southern view. Suddenly, a bear walks by the window. What colour is the bear?
Why would a bear be walking past the window?
The bear is red.
Why on earth would the bear be red?
The southern sun is very hot. The bear would be terribly burned.
That is the most absurd answer I've ever heard.
Wonder where this was filmed. Cambridge University, maybe?
Experiment. To reiterate
Today, Junior?
potassium onto some water. The liquid will be
Wait, they've actually got... Is she going to be the sort of origin of Hermione, almost?
That was a girl.
Brilliant deduction, Watson.
Well done, yeah.
But who is she? And what's she doing in a boys' school?
Her name's Elizabeth. Following the death of her parents a few years ago, she came to live on school grounds with her uncle.
I was thinking, yeah, that she's the only girl there. I thought maybe we just hadn't seen the girls yet. Oh, I bet she's popular.
Elizabeth was just admiring my new timepiece. Would you like to see?
Yeah.
I bought it in Bond Street.
I find that highly unlikely.
I beg your pardon?
A
Had you
fake.
taken a moment to examine the face, you'd have discovered that it is noticeably French in style. Yet, according to this inscription, the exterior was manufactured in Switzerland. Yes, my suspicion was correct. Congratulations, Dudley. Your stylish timepiece is a fraud.
Dudley? Wow.
I look forward to resuming our conversation
Mm.
when there's a little more privacy.
Oh, I hate him already. Yeah.
Why did you do that?
Dudley is a pompous ass.
It's very sweet.
No, he was pompous.
So close to him, flirting with him, letting him dribble all over your hand.
Do I detect a sense of jealousy?
Sherlock Holmes? Jealous? My dear, that word does not enter my vocabulary.
Neither does punctuality.
Sorry, but I can explain.
It's a cat? I was going to say it's a fake bookcase, but... Careful, my boy.
Let me introduce you to my new friend. The honourable but clumsy Watson.
No broken bones.
There's that person.
Holmes! I think I've solved all of the problem!
Oh, I love him.
My uncle.
Rupert T. Waxsplatter, retired schoolmaster.
And most people think he's a lunatic.
Why?
Because he thinks he can fly. I was right. Oh, I love that thing. Well, he can. That's amazing. Balmy professor guy.
Very hopeful sign.
Very hopeful indeed, yes. Who are you?
6 failed attempts. We shall not be defeated. We shall conquer.
We shall never surrender.
It's done the 6th time.
I love the feel of this, the architecture and the style of
I
it.
live here with Uncle.
It's beautiful.
After he retired, the school gave him the attic as a workplace.
He's our very own Caractacus Potts.
And I wonder why.
He's taught me more than 10 schoolmasters put together.
Chee Chee Bang Bang.
Say hello, Uncas.
Uncas.
Watson, he's not a parrot.
I shall have to rebuild the entire machine.
Won't that be difficult?
Elementary, my dear Holmes.
Oh, I like that they've taken these little sayings as well. Because they said it's not a complete thing of what they wrote in the books, but...
You'll have to excuse me.
Count Bobster.
Come on, come on, come on, come on.
I've got it, Holmes. Bear in the riddle. It's a black bear.
Yeah, even this reminds me of one of the scenes in Harry Potter where they've got the shadows going over them whilst they're watching.
Are you all right, Penshurst?
I think I sprained my ankle, sir.
Mrs. Dribb,
Will you attend to him, please?
We cannot permit ourselves lapses in concentration. No better pupil to help me illustrate proper form and technique than Holmes.
He's very talented at fencing. I feel like you have to have so much talent to do fencing. Also, you have to admit, this film is incredibly British.
Mr. Holmes lost because of one important factor. His emotions took over. He ignored discipline. Never replaced discipline with emotion.
I was going to say he did not pay attention.
Per Christum Dominum Nostrum. Amen.
Amen. Oh my god, even the hall is like the Great Hall. I mean, I think that's how they were, and how they probably still are, in a lot of boarding school, like the big boarding school type places.
I want to enlist in the army.
Generals don't make any money.
I would prefer to be an author.
Authors don't make money.
I want to be a barrister. Barristers make money.
They're very good jobs,
I
yeah.
want to be a doctor.
Nobody asked you.
Alright, Draco.
What do you want to be when you grow up?
Married to her, I presume.
I never want to be alone.
Aww, it's a good answer. Don't go after her.
Uncas?
No. Oh, took a bit of material?
Why did you do that? Stay with me.
Uh-oh. I wonder who that could be. It's someone that wasn't there earlier.
Hello, is anybody there?
Even the... I'm sorry, I'm going to stop comparing, but even the music is slightly reminiscent. Oh, he's going to see something weird happening with those candles. Just quickly, in Harry Potter, didn't Voldemort first turn up in one of those big hooded cloaks as well? Oh, that's creepy. How on earth did they make that? CGI, I know. No. I was going to say, if they didn't react to whatever it was that was affecting them, presumably they wouldn't die anyway unless they die of a heart attack.
Holmes is going to solve the crime!
Holmes is going to solve the crime!
What did he say?
Holmes is going to solve the crime.
The entire school was bursting with excitement. Dudley challenged Holmes to a test of ingenuity.
So that's how he starts to solve crimes.
Snatched the school's fencing trophy and hidden it in a secret place.
Oh, not the murder crime, right?
Holmes accepted the challenge.
The game is afoot!
Huzzah! Oh, I love this music. It reminds me a bit of Muppets Christmas Carol as well. I don't think you're going to find it there.
This is truly despicable.
No, he's just having a bit of fun.
He's having fun, yeah.
I'm sure that you can still remember what fun was.
Fun? Too egotistical for his own good. He'll never find that trophy.
I'll wager a guinea he
Are you
does.
sure?
Done.
Excuse me.
Because it was icing, maybe, that was on the floor? I want to know how he's put all these bits together. Because that was my first thought, was paint.
Holmes, you've only got 1 minute.
Can't you see I'm trying to concentrate?
Snow? I mean, you've only got 1 minute. You've already surpassed that, so...
I assume you're giving up?
Never assume anything, my good fella.
I see no sign of a trophy.
Till the end of the chime. What?
This is antique.
Or is it a fake? But he has gone mad. What's one antique for a little bit of fun?
Heroic moment for Holmes. But little could he know it would soon be put to a much greater test. Terrifying and deadly proportions.
Then that I noticed the particles beneath the oven. Particles of freshly baked ceramic. The clues. Red and green paint. As the snow crumbled, my shoe was revealed. The parallel between my foot encased in snow and the trophy encased in some sort of ceramic.
I mean, I would never have put that together.
This time I've definitely solved the problem.
Look at the contraption. He's brilliant. Oh no, bless him. Not quite. Look in the background, you can see Big Ben and the bigger places. Yep. The Reverend is dead. Lestrade. Yes.
It's been a long time. 3-4 days since your last visit.
I believe I'm onto something.
Oh, not again.
He's a lot younger there.
Just have a quick look at these.
A carriage accident.
I suspect foul play.
The two incidents are completely unrelated.
Both men graduated from the same university in 1809.
Coincidence.
Neither of their deaths fit their personalities. Bobster was a happy man. He didn't even leave a note.
Yeah, why would he jump out the window?
And Reverend Nesbitt is warm, loving, peaceful. And yet the carriage driver insists that he was in a state of panic.
Mere fluctuation of character is hardly sufficient evidence to begin an investigation. Keep your nose out of the Times and into your school books.
No, continue, Holmes.
I suggest you hold on to these. If I were a detective sergeant trapped in this room all day, up to my neck in boring paperwork, I would be doing everything in my power to seek out that one case that could promote me to inspector.
You put it there, the guy's going to see that.
Holmes! Dudley dropped this, sir. I was just giving it back to him.
I beg your pardon?
Your paper.
What? It doesn't belong to me.
No.
It isn't even my handwriting.
But then...
These are the exam answers.
No.
We have finally discovered the secret of your intelligence.
Did he cheat? Great. That'll affect everything.
Their age has turned them to granite.
I was certain they would take my record into consideration.
Unfortunately, it did more harm than good. Only managed to convince the board that you've been cheating.
What, because he's so good?
The answers were in your own handwriting.
I can prove my innocence if you would give me some time.
In their eyes, you have committed the worst crime imaginable.
And I'm being given the worst punishment.
I'll keep an eye out for this Dudley fellow.
I appreciate that, sir.
And if there's anything else I can do?
There is one thing.
Now that you say.
One last duel.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that wasn't what I was thinking. It was the flash of the light.
I lost concentration for a moment.
I should have removed my ring. I'm sorry, it was an unfair distraction.
Let's call it a draw.
Let Mrs. Dribb look at that wound.
I'm loving this film.
Thank you, Mrs. Dribb.
I'm going to miss you around here, Mr. Holmes.
Don't you come after the other guy.
Dudley's going to pay dearly for this. Punch to the jaw, jab to the ribs.
Revenge is sweetest when it's served up cold.
Is he going with him? Well, he has to leave as well. But why? Why the hell does he look like that? Draco.
You're responsible, aren't you?
That's where I dropped my chemistry experiment. It'll wear off shortly. You should be back to normal by summertime.
I thought I could hear someone saying help me in the background. No, now he's gonna die. I hope not. I know, but he's got some remedy for it. Trying to think of where that is filmed. It looks so familiar to me. Oh my god, she loves him. I didn't think they loved each other. Oh no. See the gargoyle come to life. Tread on him or something. Take your jacket off. Oh god, get the weapons away from him. No. No, because it's going to stab him.
No, sir, no!
No!
So this is goodbye.
I really expected us to become good friends.
I liked him.
Sir, you dropped this.
Peter. Just seemed to go mad. Stabbed himself. Peter Holmes.
Peter.
Peter.
Sir.
Peter.
Please now.
I take it it's a clue to something.
Get these two school children away from here.
They'll never listen, because he's just a
A
kid.
few days later, they buried Professor Waxflatter. I had never been to a funeral. I've been to many since.
Oh no.
Holmes could not publicly attend the funeral. His expulsion from Brompton prevented such a thing.
Really?
I have only seen Holmes cry on 2 occasions. Today was the first.
What was the second? I take it we'll find out. That's the other guy that was watching from the alley before. I wonder if Watson will see him and be like, where's he going? It's beautiful wherever this is filmed.
Uncle didn't kill himself.
Then what happened?
He was murdered.
Here he is.
I only got halfway to Mycroft's home.
Mycroft.
I ordered the driver to turn round.
Sherlock's brother, by the way.
He was very important to me.
So glad you're here.
Just realised. Hermione and Ron
I believe Uncle was murdered.
get together, don't they?
You saw Waxflatter's hand on the knife.
Never trust the obvious, Watson. There are too many puzzling elements to all.
Madness, again.
All for no apparent reason. Completely unbelievable to all of us.
Out of his character as well.
Why should Waxflatter be so obsessed with their death?
He'd saved those newspaper clippings. And he was always meeting with that odd man.
Man attended the funeral. Some way that man is connected to all 3 murders.
You've both been reading too many detective novels.
But I love it.
I am going to find him. I'll live here, work here, if that's all right with you.
Aww.
Only the 3 of us know that I'm here.
Someone miss you leaving.
Or he never leaves in the first place.
But you'll need food, supplies.
And you'll get them.
Me?
Yes.
I can't.
You can run errands for me, work as my assistant.
But I might get caught, and that would mean trouble.
No, they're going to think you're just visiting Elizabeth.
You would let trouble ruin an opportunity for adventure.
Can't afford to jeopardize my medical career.
Weasel.
I'm not a weasel.
No, I imagined you courageous, stout of heart.
Yes.
I am courageous. All right, I'll do it.
Uncle would have wanted you to have this.
He's got his deerstalker hat. Brilliant. No, you look great.
On second thoughts, take it off. It looks very silly.
No.
You can't wear hats.
Oh, I think it actually looks good on
I
him.
think it's very becoming.
Thank you, Elizabeth.
You're teasing.
No, seriously.
It's very good.
We only had 2 clues. Waxflatter's final words, état, and the blowpipe.
The voiceover, I know that voice.
When the cloaked figure ran off, I had heard a peculiar jingling, very much like the sound I heard in the library.
He does a voiceover for something that I've seen before.
Paddington let out a loud groan at the thought. Perhaps, he announced, you'd like to borrow my hat instead. Our first stop that day was at Engel's curio shop.
Very nice. Egyptian. Well, I've only seen this particular type once before. I had it here in the shop. I sold a lot to
who?
An Egyptian. Keep some sort of tavern.
And his name?
Her name. I don't know, it kind of felt like it was a woman.
You promised to purchase something.
Watson, buy something.
Me?
I'm short of funds right now.
Rubbish, you're short of funds.
That address could lead us to our killer.
Don't let him hear, because he'll want more.
Why on earth did you buy a pipe?
It looks distinguished.
It looks perfectly ridiculous.
I shall learn to smoke it, and then you can't laugh.
I love the old designs of everything. They're going there.
What can I get for you? Drink, food, women?
Do you have any soup?
That'd be me. Have any
I've
soup?
seen this before.
Ramitep! Ramitep!
Ramitep.
Ramitep!
Is that the end of the song?
Where did you get this from?
I happened upon it.
Take it away!
Could you tell us something about this?
What? I'm sorry.
Get out of my tavern,
Okay, bye.
or these words will be the last words you will ever hear.
I don't know what Ramitep is.
We're leaving.
Yeah, they're not joking. Obviously, it's danger of some kind.
The top shelf, that's where I heard the sound. Do you know what happens when I caught?
Cultural history of Egypt.
Incredible.
Boys, keep it down.
Remarkable.
Holmes.
Just shouting constantly.
Chances of medical school.
He's worried about getting kicked out.
That the Ramitep were a fanatical group of religious followers of Osiris, the Egyptian god of the dead.
Oh.
Scorned by society because of their distortion of traditional religious beliefs and their violent rituals. The Ramitep use a blowpipe, shoot a thorn.
Oh.
The thorn is dipped into a solution made up of various plant and root extracts.
Which causes madness.
It causes the victim to experience very realistic, nightmare-like hallucinations.
A hallucinogen, yeah.
Murderer is still here on school grounds.
Said jingling sound has been heard only once.
Twice. Uncas heard a jingling sound, like you described. Took a piece of clothing from him.
Have you still got it? Because whoever's wearing that cloak has a missing piece of cloth.
I accidentally turned on one of strange machines, and not being at all mechanically minded, I had the dickens of a time trying to turn the thing off.
Look at all the little mechanical things. I love it.
I found it!
Scrutinizing the section of cloth, experiment after experiment.
That's a nice shot. Through the instruments, Frogget and Frogget.
The game is afoot.
He found that the cloth was stained with paraffin, manufactured exclusively at Frogget and Frogget, located in the Wapping area of London.
Perhaps we should come back in the morning, when it's lighter.
I love the atmosphere in that shot.
It's open.
Holmes, wait.
Why is it open late at night?
What if the murderer's inside?
I shall introduce myself to him.
Oh God, someone lives there? Oh.
There's no one here. Then back to school, eh?
You'll be on your own.
Thanks. What is that? Very loose floorboards.
Egyptian artwork? Some sort of statue?
No, Watson.
Presume it goes
I'm afraid this is only the tip of the iceberg.
and opens up. Okay, very, very loose floorboards. What? Well, they were right about tip of the iceberg, tip of the pyramid.
This is an interesting development.
Yeah. Oh, is this some kind of ritual place? You can hear
There must be a passageway inside.
the chanting.
I hear chanting.
Yeah. Through there? Would that not be the passageway?
Holmes, there's a door here.
Yeah.
Fancy him missing a door.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It's a huge door.
It's
Oh,
over here.
probably a little less conspicuous through the window. It's the sort of window that burglars like. Intruder window.
Intruder window.
I presume they're looking through the eyes of... Is it Osiris? It looks like that's the other side of that mask.
Some sort of temple.
I was say, come on, pull out, show us what we're in. Okay. What on earth is that? And this is all meant to be beneath the town? Why do they want to kill the people from that?
I'm going down for a closer look.
Unless they were in that...
Holmes, let's get out of here with our lives.
Don't let him go by himself. Who's that? Kind of looks a bit like her. Careful. It's a sacrifice for some reason, but I don't know why. And she's still alive. Burning alive in there. Oh, you idiot. Holmes, what are you doing? I think they knew that she was alive. Okay, this bit's reminding me. I've not seen it, but this bit's reminding me of Indiana Jones a little bit. With the Egyptian stuff. No! Did they all get hit? Please don't tell me they'll get hit. That's so comedic. Running back and forth on those. Look at that lighting. I mean, there's plenty of places to hide there, and it's dark. No, you can't have lost her. Oh my god, this bit's so surround. I can hear all the little animals and creatures around the graveyard, around me.
Elizabeth!
How did you lose her that easily?
She might have been hit by a thorn.
Please don't tell me she was. No, she was. I thought one of them, or all of them, had got hit.
I think I hit him.
You're right.
I thought you were saying something else other than her screaming. And she's seeing him doing that. Oh.
Elizabeth! I'm tired, Dad.
Yeah, before she does something.
It's a hallucination. It's not real.
Oh my god, that is terrifying.
It's not real.
Kiss her, maybe? Would that help to bring her about?
No, Watson.
Watson's been hit as well.
Watson too. Watson!
No. Oh, I don't like that. There's loads of cake and food. Don't do it. It's fake. So, oh my god. Oh my god. So what's he really touching? What? Oh my god, I love it. It's gone from really creepy to kind of cute. This reminds me of, is it Gulliver's Travels? I wouldn't have really said this was creepy or scary though. Oh, unless they all go into him. Oh no, I was right earlier when I said they'd all been hit. Says Mum.
Please don't cry, Mother. Don't you understand, Mother?
You! This is all your fault, son.
Biggest thing is disappointing his father and mother.
Spying on me.
Forgive me, Father.
My private life is my own. Your mother need never have known.
This is not real.
He's actually smart. He managed to get out of it. I'm not saying the others aren't smart, but he managed to work through it.
Is This is not real.
That one's real.
It's only in my mind. Maybe not.
Yep, no, it's not. That's real. Oh, that bit's not real though. You seeing it as your dad.
Please, no.
I'll blow your bleeding heads off.
I'll blow your bloody head off.
Blow its bloody head off!
Vincent to drop the charges. These religious fanatics are responsible for God knows how many deaths. They're also responsible for the 4 young girls. Those who disappeared last month. Beg of you, begin an investigation.
Based on what? Your imagination?
A great detective relies on perception, intelligence, imagination.
Maybe Lestrade is in on it.
Where'd you get that rubbish from?
It's framed on the wall behind you.
Don't think he is, but it's right there on the wall.
I spent the last 7 years at Scotland Yard, studying, analysing hundreds of cases.
You didn't do a very good job, did you?
Consider that you know more than me.
He does.
I despise your arrogance.
Despise your laziness.
That was a very strong comment to say.
We'll have someone test these. Maybe then you'll be convinced.
Those are the darts, I presume. Don't touch them, no! Oh no. Let's hope it was wearing off and he'll only have a bit of a funny turn.
Got to find clues, something that could link wax flatter with the Rame tap.
Yes, Mr. French Pastry. I have nothing whatsoever to say to you.
It's not talking this time.
What? What have you done with that painting? Do you realise what you found? Bentley Bobster, Duncan Nesbitt, Rupert Waxflatter. All of these men have died recently, except this man. This is Chester Cragwich. He was here in the window and at the funeral. This is the clue we've been looking for. Good show, Watson.
Holmes, I did not expect our foils to cross so soon.
Oh no, because he's not meant to be there.
You're forgetting we share the same keen powers of observation.
Mr. Holmes, I thought you'd gone.
He's meant to.
If the board knew of this, they would probably have you arrested, and then...
What? Arrested for coming back into the school?
Holmes, I'm willing to forget about all of this.
What utter twaddle.
Go home as originally planned. Watson, you will do the same.
I'm being expelled, sir.
What?
This will save you any such disgrace. Did you permit Mr. Holmes to stay in your uncle's study?
Yes.
Extremely unladylike behaviour in one so young.
Indeed. Have the dog taken to the pound.
No! How dare you?
Other schools do not allow pets.
Can't take him away.
I'd just leave there and then instead.
In the circumstances, I should take care of him myself.
No.
I think that it is now time to dispose of everything within the Waxflatter laboratory.
But, sir, the laboratory is filled with Mr. Waxflatter's invention.
We mustn't cling to things of the past.
It's the man's whole life's work.
And his life is over.
That's so horrible.
I'm surprised at your tone of voice, especially with me.
But be a bit more... So I wonder if maybe he's in on it.
Place the boys in 14B and keep the young lady in your adjoining room. Remember what I always taught you. Control your emotions, or they will be your downfall.
Part of me was wondering just then, I had a fleeting thing of wondering if he was in on it. And if, remember I said it was a woman? I think it's a woman underneath that cloak. Probably wrong. Could it be the lady that we just saw? We said about the dog. Because the dog attacked her. So she's spiteful to the dog.
The end of my medical career.
I know you're shouting at me. I'm probably completely wrong.
I always suspected becoming a friend of yours would end in disaster. What are you doing?
Escaping.
You trying to get us arrested?
We can leave now.
I'm staying here.
And we're in this together. We're a team.
You don't want to stay in that room? My God.
The man who visited Uncle. The one you said ran from the funeral.
If you go back to the laboratory and salvage as many of your uncle's formulas and inventions as you can. Watson?
Yes.
Can you fit through the window?
Oh, be careful tonight.
Aww.
This is too much.
This is too much. That's a really lovely shot. Someone's aiming a gun at you.
Go away! Romitep! Bloody murderers!
They're not Romitep.
You won't get me!
We were friends of Mr. Waxflatter.
I know you. You're the youngster that followed me at the cemetery. I'm a dangerous man to be around.
Yes, he is. Yeah, I didn't recognise him as that man.
I want to know why the Rame Tap killed 5 men.
Go in.
Oh, no, no, no. She's there.
Where better to build than Egypt? It seemed a land of extreme opportunity. What started out as a business venture soon became a major archaeological find.
Outside the window. Oh, that's creepy.
Covered an underground pyramid. All the relics and treasures.
I've seen the... No.
Bloody insect. There was an uproar. We're convinced we desecrated sacred ground. Our lives were in danger. The British sent the troops in.
Oh no. So you can imagine the bombs.
The entire village was burned to the ground. Fire.
Or he's going to imagine the whole place on fire.
They've hit Cragwich with a thorn. Your name is Chester Cragwich.
Chester Cragwich.
Chester Cragwich. Chester Cragwich. Chester Cragwich. Chester Cragwich. Chester Cragwich. Chester Cragwich. Chester Cragwich. Chester Cragwich. Chester Cragwich. Chester Cragwich. Chester Cragwich. Chester Cragwich. Chester Cragwich. Chester Cragwich. Chester Cragwich. Chester Cragwich. Chester Cragwich. Chester Cragwich. Chester Cragwich. Chester Cragwich. Chester Cragwich. Chester Cragwich. Chester Cragwich. Chester Cragwich. Chester Cragwich. Chester Cragwich. Chester Cragwich. Chester Cragwich. Chester Cragwich. Chester Cragwich. Chester Cragwich. Chester Cragwich. Chester Cragwich. Chester Cragwich. Chester Cragwich. Chester Cragwich. Chester Cragwich. Chester Cr
He saved his life.
So real. This time someone else knew everything.
The Egyptian village, has it been burned to the ground?
Yes. When we returned to England, we went our separate ways.
What does all of this have to do with the Rame tap?
Almost a year after the incident, each one of us received this letter, a symbol of the Rame tap. 2 golden serpents. The boy who wrote the letter and his sister, village, which was their home. Both their parents were killed in the attack.
Oh my God.
The boy vowed that the Rame tap would take their revenge and replace the bodies of the 5 Egyptian princesses.
And the boy was called Atar.
Those were Waxflatter's final words.
Yes, they were. What the hell?
You filthy murderer.
Your name is Craggy Critch. What's his name?
What?
Master Lestrade, what are you doing here?
I accidentally stuck myself on one of those damn thorns. I thought I'd better look into your story.
Oh, eventually.
Wish you and your podgy little friend farewell. I appreciate you getting me started on the case.
Getting him started
On the case. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so you've done all of it, yeah.
It's you. Yes, my dear.
I was right! And it's the keys jingling. That's why she was so grr with the dog earlier. Alright, love. Calm down. Was she wearing a wig? Oh, okay. And he's in on it.
So, my dear, you've discovered our little secret. Where are your 2 friends?
I'll never find them.
Oh, he hypnotizes people. No.
What shall we do with her?
She'll come with us. We need a 5th princess.
Holmes, I know the answer to the
Look at
riddle.
that. Love that shot. I think it's a painting, though, for the rest of it.
This riddle is going to give me a headache.
Atar.
Can't you think of anything else?
I always think of stuff like Atar and all that kind of stuff as maybe it's a backwards word or an anagram or something, but that would be Rata backwards. Or Rata.
I know the bear's white. I don't know why.
I love solving riddles and things like that. Hence the book that I've got that does that.
He's bleeding again.
This cut from Wraith's ring never seems to heal. Oh God, how could I be so stupid?
The ring.
It's Wraith, Watson.
Bless Watson. That's a great shot of them.
What's happening?
I have the faintest idea.
I'm not going to get there on time, though, because they're already gone.
Wraith's got Elizabeth.
Too late.
One way to catch them at time.
How?
How?
Come on.
Wait, no. Are they going to go to... Yes, the flying machine.
And I've done a little tinkering of my own. Hopefully all the problems are sorted out.
It's going to be amazing. Please tell me it works.
What have I got myself into?
Another fine mess.
Untess, pull.
Oh, the little dog helps. Yes!
It works, Watson.
Oh, that is so cool. Hey, I was saying about Choo Choo Bang Bang earlier. It's a flying vehicle. He's like, what? Maybe I was drinking last night.
Holmes, look out!
Big Ben.
It's nearly 12:30.
I've absolutely no idea how to land this machine.
Nah. Oh god, that's not the River Thames or something, is it?
This time we're going to crash. We're sinking back here.
Oh, it is. It is the River Thames, I think. Because there was boats in the background a second ago. Oh no. His beautiful, wonderful flying machine. No, and they've got Elizabeth. No. Should probably have recognised his voice earlier.
They're going to kill her.
Don't know what to do.
Perhaps there's something we've learned at school we can apply to this.
Fencing?
Well, I can't think of anything. You're always so dash sure of yourself. Why didn't you think of something?
Because I keep thinking there was some stuff earlier that I was going, this is probably going to make sense later in the film.
I've got it. We must create a diversion.
Yes, why didn't I think of that?
What on earth could the diversion be?
One beam misplaced will bring down this whole thing like House of Cards.
And candles. And they said about setting a light earlier. I know they are going to probably do it in time, but still, nerve-wracking. Holmes, be very careful they don't spot you up there. It's going to go, oh, you! Oh, they're going to lift it up so that it sets a light, I think. Maybe. Hurry up. Come on! Any second longer and it's gonna go. Yes! Oh, yeah, I was gonna say with that satellite. Yes! Oh no! It's a shame he doesn't just swing down and pick her up in his arms. Get over there. No! Don't dare! No, 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 no. Yes! Also, with it in the back of her throat, is this going to have an everlasting effect because she can't take it out until she dies? Like that. That's real. It didn't even have to have a chance to take effect. Is she okay?
What's that? Get her out of here!
No! Come on, go after them!
Wraith has taken Elizabeth and the stairs are blocked. What should I do?
Go round the other way, Watson!
This is so cool. They're being little heroes. Holmes, get up. No. He's going to look down and notice Holmes. Come on. Just be very careful he doesn't push you down. Come on.
What am I gonna do?
He's got two things he needs to try and save at the same time. He's going to throw the rope down. That isn't going to work, I don't think. Oh, that's genius. And now stop him from moving. Just carefully doesn't see it. Yes. Yes. Oh, and he's gonna help pull him up, I think. Is it? That won't work, surely. He's gonna pull him, isn't it? And that somehow worked. Yes! Oh my god.
Good show, Watson.
Jolly good show.
You're right.
I think so.
What are we going to do about Wraith?
I mean, all thanks to Watson, really. He's escaped.
He's gone.
Didn't they use that in Harry Potter as well, that line? Yeah, he does. When he says about Dumbledore in the picture, he goes, he's gone. Like that. Exact same way.
Hey, he's gone. Well, you can't expect him to run around all day.
Police will find him.
Strange. I don't know how I'm going to explain all this to my parents.
It'll all be explained in tomorrow's papers.
I was going to say, I'm fairly sure the papers are going to have something to say about it.
Find out what they say.
Is he there? Watching them?
Holmes!
No! Don't you dare! No! Please tell me she's okay. Challenge him to a duel.
Where are you going?
Yes!
I'm going to get him. Hey, Tar! You're nothing but a damn fraud!
For letting your emotions get the better of you again.
Oh no, he's not this time. Yep, there you go. Duel. I thought it would come back at some point, but I didn't think it would be with him.
You cannot best me, Holmes. Throw down your sword.
Rather die a gruesome and horrible death.
I will oblige. Fight like an undernourished child. I've already won the battle.
Everything has been destroyed forever.
I've cut you now, like you cut me. Careful, careful, careful. I was going to say the hook is going to be terrible because he can wrap it. Oh, come on. I would have let him fall down there. Atar, Wraith. I would have let him fall down there and then chuck something against the ice to break it. Could he fall down? I was going to say, could he not fall down where it's already broken up because of that? Oh my god, careful. This is crazy.
Let's carry a while longer. As your Elizabeth's precious lifeblood flows from her body.
Yeah, Elizabeth's dying. Come on. Bye-bye. Dramatic death. Carefully doesn't just burst back up. You not get to a doctor or a nurse? A hospital?
Don't be sad.
They were good together.
Someday we'll be reunited. In another world. A much better world.
late. As always.
No. He didn't even tell her that he loved her. Remember, she said, "I love you" on the window. I know she knew it. That was her next to her uncle, I think, wasn't it?
You think he'd uncovered the entire case on his own?
Lestrade taking all the credit, as per the original cases.
Stay there, Uncas. I'll be back in a minute.
And they kept the dog, Uncas.
When did you first begin to suspect that Wraith was involved with...
When Waxflatter first retired, the board wanted him to leave the school. Wraith argued and fought.
Where they were a second ago reminded me of the hospital wing from Harry Potter as well.
I could never understand why Wraith wanted Waxflatter to stay.
Fond of Waxflatter's inventions?
Have you been asleep through this entire case?
He wanted to keep him under his inspection.
That Wraith spent years plotting his revenge, completely erasing his former identity. Mrs. Dribb was the Rametep's chief assassin. She was Wraith's younger sister.
I did not realise she was his younger sister.
Of course, you did forget one very important clue. Well, Wraith is Atar spelled backwards.
Very clever, Watson.
Wait, was I right?
I would have arrived at that conclusion sooner or later.
Wait, is it Wraith? I thought it was
Coming
Wraith.
back after the holidays.
There are too many memories here.
Etar. Right, and I said about it being backwards or an anagram. I just misheard what he said.
Holmes, you have your entire life ahead of you.
I'll spend it alone.
Because he's by the window where she said it.
Merry Christmas, Holmes.
Is it the hat? Please tell me it's the hat.
I thought you might have more like smoking it.
Oh. Oh, yeah.
It does seem to suit you.
It was a very Sherlock.
But why do you insist on wearing that ridiculous cloak of that unspeakable person?
Yeah, it's lovely.
Consider it a trophy, Watson. The skin of a leopard. I'm going to miss you, Watson.
I'm gonna miss you too, Holmes.
Aww.
You know, you were right about something. It was the adventure of a lifetime.
Holmes, wait! I know why the bear's white.
I love that. First person.
Well, the only room with a north-southern view would be on the North Pole. It's a polar bear.
Bravo, Watson. You have the makings of a great detective.
All views would be to the south, yeah.
As I watched Holmes settle into his seat, a sudden feeling came over me that I would most certainly be seeing him again.
Silhouette.
So ended my first adventure with Mr. Sherlock Holmes.
First?
As I watched his carriage disappear into the distance, I realized that I had forgotten to thank him. He had taken a weak, frightened boy, made him into a courageous, strong man.
Yeah, she looks a bit older there as well.
I was ready for whatever mystery or danger lay ahead, ready to take on the greatest and most exciting adventure of them all.
Life.
And I knew it was bound to involve Sherlock Holmes.
Though Sir Arthur Conan Doyle did not write about the very youthful years of Sherlock Holmes and did not establish this initial meeting between them, this affectionate speculation about what might have happened has been respectful admiration and in tribute to the author and his enduring something, tales, I think it said. I had to read that really quickly to get that. That was amazing. Now, I've been told to wait until the very end, so what I've done is I've skipped it ahead, because apparently there's an extra shot. Oh, Industrial Light and Magic co-produced it. Yeah, there's an extra thing at the end.
Can I help you?
I'd like a room, please.
Please, to sign here.
And is that Moriarty? Ah! Wait! The guy was Moriarty all along. Or became Moriarty, I should say, because he was Etar. I need to look up his name because there was me saying a name backwards, and I was thinking that Wraith backwards wasn't right. That the name that I was thinking he was called was backwards, and I thought about his name backwards, and I thought about that error, whatever it was, error thingy. I thought that backwards as well. Yeah, it's Wraith. Yeah, Etar. Why do I think they're saying Etar throughout the whole film? Etar is Wraith. R-A-T-H-E. Backwards. I just never saw his spelling, so I didn't know. There were so many twists and turns that I picked up on Mrs. Dribb with her acting funny to the dog. It wasn't that got me. It was earlier on I was thinking, I'm sure it just felt like it was a female that was doing it. But then it wasn't anything that she'd said, Mrs. Dribb. Like, nothing that she'd said made me think it at first. But then there was something that happened.
Sir, may I suggest that we have the dog taken to the pound? I believe other schools do not allow pets.
One of the things that made me think it was they just suddenly wanted to get rid of all of that guy's equipment, really heartlessly. Just get rid of that guy's equipment.
I think that it is now time to dispose of everything within the Waxflatter laboratory.
It was before that I'd even thought it, because I told you guys, didn't I? At least I'm hoping I did, because I know I thought it. That I kind of suspected it was them just from a few things that I put together, and I was thinking, maybe it's them? That was such a good film, and I totally saw the inspiration there for Harry Potter and all the little workings in there that reminded me so much of Harry Potter and the wizarding world, and the characters. Like, we had a character called Dudley in there, like Dudley, and the fact that the characters are very similar to them, and also Ron and Hermione together, but we had Sherlock and Elizabeth together. There were some certain similarities in there, and there were even similarities by the way it was filmed, by like you had the slightly Dutch angle with the lamp, and it reminded me a lot of one of the shots from Harry Potter, and also the very beginning when we see the silhouette. Even from then, the music that was there was very similar to those opening scenes of the first Harry Potter film, along with the silhouette being McGonagall in Harry Potter. Do you know the silhouette I'm on about? The one where she goes from a cat to a person. But aside from all of the Potter stuff, this was one of the most wonderful things that I have seen, and it kind of has a real Christmas feel to it. I know it's not a Christmas film. I've also just realised about Mrs. Drip. The reason for the whole hallucinogen thing, and she was the one able to do it as well, is because she had access to that kind of drug, that kind of thing, didn't she, to create a hallucinogen. All these little things that were all put together. But that would make sense because she's the school nurse. There were some incredibly compelling story moments in that film that were really, really well hit, with being beautifully written, especially at the very end. Watson says that line, "It really has been the adventure of a lifetime." I'm fairly sure that's the line that he says.
It was the adventure of a lifetime.
The film's just taken in such a beautifully whimsical way, but again, if it's got anything to do with Chris Columbus, there's no wonder. Gorgeously put to screen, gorgeously written. There's so many lines in there that are just perfect. I think a lot of it is because it's Victorian London, so it's set in that time where a lot of language and a lot of the way that people spoke was so eloquent and perfect. And I love that kind of thing. And I really adore the way they put the effects to screen as well. I mean, it's from Industrial Light and Magic, but with it being from them, I can totally see their influence. And do you know what I really love? That you got the flying machine back again towards the end. I didn't think that would come back. It's just when he said, "Hang on a second," whatever he said, and then he went to go and walk off, I went, the flying machine, that's what they're going to use. I was thinking, how is he going to get there? They haven't got any other mode of transport. They haven't got anything. Even horses, they don't have anything. But it turns out they did. It blew me away when we got to the situation where you see what looks like a tiny little shrine or something, the tiny pyramid looking thing. And when the floorboards were wobbly, in my head I was going, those floorboards are wobbly, they're gonna fall through it, or someone's gonna burst up in a second and grab them. And then quite aptly, they then fall straight through the floor and fall down the side of the pyramid. So I am so happy that I managed to pick up on the clues, and they were probably fairly easy clues to get. Did you get them as well? You know, when they were making all those hints and you get that little side eye that the nurse gives, Mrs. Drib, she gives a little glare to the dog, and she does a certain thing when she's talking to Elizabeth about the dog, and it's just a little snap. And in my head I was going, something was off about that, and I was thinking, I was doing the deduction of Sherlock. This is why I love this kind of thing. I love Sherlock Holmes, and to be fair, I've not seen a huge amount of the original Sherlock Holmes. In fact, I don't think I've seen many episodes. I think I've seen like the first 2, but I've seen all of, the BBC Sherlock, and I've seen Elementary. I've got them on physical media, and I've watched the films as well. Love those, and I've seen some of the older Sherlock Holmes stuff, and I've read the books, or at least I've read a fair few of them. So I like deducing and figuring things out, and that's why when I watch things like this film, or maybe Laura that we watched, I like to kind of work out what's going on. It's much more interactive, me talking to you and telling you these kinds of things. You get to hear my thoughts, you can't hear my brain. So from the cinematography, gorgeous. There's a lot of shots in there that I absolutely love, and there's even shots in there that help to support thoughts that you're feeling about certain characters. Like, for instance, earlier in the film, when they're dueling, they're fencing with each other, Sherlock and Wraith, he obviously distracts him with his ring. Something about this scene is going to come back later. I didn't know it would be both. I didn't know it would be the ring and it would be the dueling, because usually what they do in storytelling like this is they plant the seed of something, of like a story element earlier in the film.
Control your emotions, or they will be your downfall.
So then you get reminded of that. That is what I love about storytelling. I am genuinely so thankful for you guys recommending that to me, because that was something utterly brilliant. I'm going to be putting the uncut out on Patreon, so if you want to check out the uncut to this, you can see it over on Patreon or as a YouTube member as well. But by the way, I said about the Chris Columbus thing, there's such a Chris Columbus feel to that. That being filmed in 1985 was done 5 years before he filmed Home Alone. But you can so see some of the similarities, not to Home Alone, but to that carefree, happy-go-lucky, childlike wonder that's in there with those really light, fluffy moments. And whilst they're not the same situations that the characters go through, there's certain things in there that are very stereotypically Chris Columbus, including even the music slightly as well. And I say that because then, many years later, he went on to do Harry Potter, when similar motifs and similar feels, similar look to it, similar locations even used. Oh, I was going to say, one of the places that looked really familiar to me, it wasn't filmed in Cambridge. It was actually filmed in Oxford. The school quad is Eton College in Berkshire. However, the exterior of the school is Brasenose College, Radcliffe Square in the city of Oxford. This is just a real quick thing before we actually get into the trivia, but apparently Eton College was also used as a church exterior in Shakespeare in Love. I don't know if it's out on the channel yet, but check out the uncut for Shakespeare in Love if you'd like to, because we've seen it already, and it will eventually come to the channel if it's not already out yet. Honestly, thank you from the bottom of my heart. I love this, and it's now on my favourites list. Anyway, I think now we should check out the trivia. So apparently, you know the stained glass night that we see in the film? Well, that not only took industrial light and magic artists 4 months to complete, to fully create, but apparently it was the first film to have a fully CGI computer generated image character within it. The work on the nights and animating the sequence itself was overseen by John Lasseter in a very early movie credit for Pixar. The things you learn. Also a massive shout out to you guys for pushing me in the direction of that, both on my Patreon and over on my Discord as well, which you can go and join if you'd like to. You guys had told me something about that, but I wanted to find out a little bit more information about it. Creator John Lasseter and his Lucasfilm graphics group, which was later then branded as Pixar at Industrial Light and Magic. They're the people that made it. I didn't know Pixar itself was that. Yeah, back then Lasseter, who would later become Disney's chief creative officer, and his small crew, including Star Wars special effects legend Dennis Muren, were doing something unprecedented. Because now, many years later, it's easier to merge CGI characters with real people, but back then, no. Oh, this article, I was able to find this. I'll leave the link to the PDF document down in the description. Hopefully I remember to. But this shows the work that was done on it. Like, it shows the guy in the suit, it shows the work on the program that they were using at the time. Yeah, apparently to accomplish the wizardry, ILM model shop crew member Jeff Mann donned a special costume, so he was the guy in the costume, and was photographed against a grid to provide reference footage for the eventual computer animation. In the photo, artistic supervisor John Lasseter stands with ILM visual effects supervisor Dennis Muren. So they're the two other guys that are in that photo alongside Jeff Mann. They employed state-of-the-art equipment for the time, and working around the clock, the team conjured a clay and glass maquette figure of the Phantom Knight, which was then digitized using a Polymer's 3-space digitizer. The resulting geometry was then rendered in vector form on an Evans and Sutherland monitor. This is fascinating. The sheer engineering, the work that went into this is utterly mesmerizing.
My brilliant wife came up with this, which is, this is all this is her original thing, which was, because the character comes out of a piece of stained glass, that it's like flat, right? And it's made up of these different pieces. And we thought, boy, that's a great idea.
Not only did they produce a brilliant film, but they also included this one scene with this one character that had so much work put into it. It just blows my mind that it was just for this one scene. I'd say one shot, but it was just a scene. Just a small arrangement of shots.
We're here at Industrial Light and Magic shooting one of the effect sequences for the film, a hallucination sequence. One of the most unique sequences we've done because it involves a priest seeing a stained glass window in a church shatter and fall down by him in the form of a stained glass man.
Yeah, apparently 1 year after the release of this film, ILM's Pixar division was sold to Apple's Steve Jobs and renamed Pixar Animation Studios. So that's where it all kind of links together. I kind of knew it, but I kind of didn't know it. Yes, where Lasseter eventually produced his groundbreaking all-CG animated feature film, Toy Story, in 1995. Toy Story! And also the very first film that I ever saw in cinemas.
It kind of looks, though, like a doll, like a paper thing. It could have been like a commercial I had done years ago for paper, I forget what it was, paper towels or something that were walking. Is that going to be a good enough, a mystery enough to see it, to spend all the computer graphic time doing something that looks like it might be a stop-mo piece of, copper painted over something. And she came up with the idea of having all the pieces being separate. And of course, she couldn't draw them that way, but look at all the pieces that were on there. If these were all separate, there's no way that you could imagine how you could ever have made the thing.
This PDF document, by the way, is made by Jeff Spry, so feel free to go and have a look at that. I'll leave it in the description below. If not, look up Jeff Spry and Young Sherlock Holmes, etc.
We've come up with, after coming up with a lot of work on the design and talking to Barry, the director, about it, is come up with, or the solution we've come up with is to do it totally synthetic with sort of a computer-generated machine that we've got here at Lucasfilm, our Pixar machine. So we've spent quite a bit of time trying to make the shot fit in to the show the way the director wants it to.
Then when we got into designing it, I made sure that the pieces of glass, instead of being whatever they are, a quarter of an inch or 3/8, they were an inch thick because it was hallucination. So we made them an inch thick so they were heavy. Each piece of glass, which is 100 or plus pieces of glass. And I made sure each one of them to add power to it because it needed to be a horror, a nightmare, because it's a nightmare to this priest that's imagining it, that the pieces be bowed out. So they were convex in the direction, just slightly convex in the direction that the priest was, that the character was walking toward the priest. So if you just look at the still from one of the side views, everything has got a forward motion.
So apparently, when young Sherlock Holmes and John Watson first meet, the part where he says James to him, Holmes incorrectly guesses that Watson's first initial stands for James. This is a reference to one of the contradictions in the original Arthur Conan Doyle stories. In most of the stories, Watson's first name is John, but in one story, his wife inexplicably calls him James.
James, John, what's the difference?
A great deal.
Watson's middle initial is H, which Doyle never expanded upon. But there is a popular fan speculation that it stands for Hamish, which is the Scottish variation of James, and that this is a private term of endearment by his wife.
The best feature thing that I did, there's a lot in that I like, but probably the most special one to me was probably Young Sherlock Holmes, because that was my first job at ILM, and it was really the first movie that I was able to do like a whole sequence myself, the Harpy sequence. I always had all these visions of ILM and like what it looked like and stuff, I always have dreams about it. And plus I knew all the guys that started it, Dennis and Ken and Phil and all those guys who all worked together. So I just had this big anticipation, of going there finally, and working on this show. So that was, all of that, made that probably the special project for me.
Do you know what? I wondered this because when I saw the opening credits, it reminded me so much of some other Sherlock thing that I'd seen, and for the life of me, I couldn't put my finger on it. And yes, the shadow moving across the ground was paying homage to the credit sequence of the classic Basil Rathbone, Nigel Bruce, Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson classics. I had a feeling that there was some other inspiration behind that, but I didn't know it actually was paying homage to those. Oh! Nigel Stock, who played Wax Flatter, also played the role of Dr. Watson in Sherlock Holmes from 1964. Oh, it's him! I didn't even recognise him!
The whole process was great. Dennis and I went out to the San Francisco Zoo, to shoot reference footage of parrots for the harpies, because the parrots were about the same size, and it was like the closest thing, to a harpy. So it was kind of fun going out to the zoo that day with the cameraman and the trainer, and having them fly the parrot, tube back and forth and land on the trainer's arm and land on his shoulder, and getting all this footage, for reference.
Okay, this is actually quite an interesting and fun fact. Alan Cox, who played John Watson, went through a growth spurt during the filming. In the later scenes of this movie, he is seen shot more frequently in the distance or seated, and actors around him were standing on risers so that they could keep the same kind of height difference and that. That's so interesting. It never occurred to me that probably happened. I must admit, I don't know if I would have noticed it too much. I did notice a little bit of a difference between the way he looks at the end. One of those very, very end shots where it's a solo of John Watson. But in that shot, I kept looking at him going, he looks so much different. He almost looks more grown up now. And it works because it's like he's gone through the adventure, gone through all of this rigmarole with the plot that we've seen. And that's why he looks like he does in comparison to being more childlike at the start. But it's actually because he had a massive growth spurt and has grown up a lot more. So I never would have thought that this would happen with fake snow, but apparently fake snow used during filming killed some of the grass at Oxford. Executive producer Steven Spielberg reimbursed the university for the cost of its replacement. That was very nice that he did that. But also, yes, it was shot at Oxford.
His main movement through space was on a mover, so that was go motion, and then his wings, inside his wings had a gear. Each wing had a gear, and then there was a cable running from the gear to the stepper motor, which moved the wings during exposure. But other than that, everything else, all the outer veins and arms of the wings and the head and the arms and the legs and all that, of course, was all stop motion animation. But the wing movement and basic body movement was go motion.
Nicholas Rowe plays Sherlock Holmes again in Mr. Holmes in 2015, which I have seen. But annoyingly, I had no idea that there was another connection to Sherlock Holmes for the reason he was playing. I presume it's the reason he was playing that Sherlock Holmes. Apparently he plays the matinee Sherlock Holmes.
Fear for her sanity? Dear man, you should fear for your life. Whatever do you mean? Murder, Mr. Calmot. Murder.
Poisoned. With what means have I?
Your harmonica, Madame Shermer. Or rather, the glasses. It is the lead in the crystal that creates the unique tone. Small exposure can produce confusion, hallucinations. But constant, obsessive contact can end in insanity and death.
Surely you're not referring to...
I'm afraid, Mrs. Calmot, you will have to find yourself a new music teacher.
Oh.
It's a wonderfully done film, but I vaguely remember what happens in the film. But yes, if you haven't seen it, go and check out Mr. Holmes. It's got Sir Ian McKellen playing Holmes in the film.
He didn't want somebody who had who was just Basil Rathbone to start with, in character as well as physique and looks and everything, because he wanted room for development. He didn't want a Holmes who would get it right to start with. I mean, indeed, Holmes makes a lot of mistakes in this movie. I had literally 2 weeks. I had a very short time to prepare, and in fact, Barry had given me a very good idea every time I saw him for the auditions of the kind of character he wanted. I was quite prepared in a sense, and I read about 3 books or 2 books or whatever, just to give me an idea, just to jog my memory. And they weren't books written by Conan Doyle. They were others, which give me a very subjective point of view as opposed to the objective works of Conan Doyle. And I saw 1 or 2 of the old films and stuff. and that The Private Life of Sherlock Holmes and Murder by Decree and those. And it was interesting seeing the different portrayals of Holmes.
Screenwriter Chris Columbus was very deeply concerned whether the movie would upset Sherlock Holmes and Sir Arthur Conan Doyle purists, most likely because of the changes they make to the characters and the story. And personally, I think they did an amazing job, and I don't think they really have to worry about people worrying about that, because it's a slightly different tale of Sherlock Holmes. It doesn't have to abide by the rules. But then again, I know where they're coming from with, if it's going to be called Sherlock Holmes, you make it a Sherlock Holmes thing. But it still is. It's just not entirely based on books written by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle.
Barry Levinson and I first met, I guess, about 4 or 5 months before the film started shooting, and we had a few productive meetings. I mean, it was a terrific experience working with Barry because he had the exact vision that I did for the film.
Oh, the dog in this movie, Uncas, was named after a portion of the brain associated with seizures. Seizures that develop from the Uncas are often preceded by hallucinations, which are a major cause of the deaths in this movie. Yes, they are. The movie was retitled after its American release in some territories and on home video as Young Sherlock Holmes and the Pyramid of Fear, so as to give it a more adventurous Raiders of the Lost Ark from 1981 feel, as with the then recent Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom from 1984, which are also Steven Spielberg productions as well. In the Conan Doyle canon, Holmes and Watson's first meeting took place in the debut novel A Study in Scarlet, which was never adapted to the big screen. It's such a shame that they haven't done that. When you're watching this at some point in the future, maybe they have, but as of filming this, I don't believe they have still. Although wasn't A Study in Scarlet the first case from the BBC Sherlock? Well, you've got was it the pink or red suitcase with the lady? I might be wrong. Interestingly, Steven Spielberg revisited studying the effects sequences within this film alongside The Abyss from 1989, Terminator 2 Judgment Day 1991 to prepare for making Jurassic Park from 1993. Okay, debut theatrical movie as a producer, Henry Winkler, the Fonz from Happy Days. It is, yeah. Henry Winkler, the Fonz. He was a producer uncredited on Young Sherlock Holmes. Oh my god. Oh, that's so cool. See, the more you know.
Okay, now cue the music and that star thing.
Alan Cox also then played Professor Moriarty in Big Finish Productions' audio drama adaptation of The Final Problem in 2011. I haven't heard any of the Big Finish productions, even though, you know, I'm a fan of Doctor Who and all this stuff, because Doctor Who is a major thing under Big Finish. I believe their main thing under Big Finish. I didn't even know that they did audio drama adaptations of Moriarty, Sherlock Holmes, all that stuff. First of only 3 Amblin Entertainment productions where the production house's logo is played by music composed by John Williams. The others being The Money Pit, 1986, fantastic film by the way, if you've not seen it, hilarious comedy, Tom Hanks, and The Colour Purple from 1985, which I've yet to see, but is meant to be a phenomenal film. I believe they also redid that not long ago as well. Oh, at around 1 hour and 15 minutes, the famous phrase of Sherlock Holmes is stated: a great detective relies on perception, intelligence, and imagination.
A great detective relies on perception, intelligence, and imagination.
It's the saying that's within the picture frame in the film. Something I didn't realise, Patrick Newell, who plays the first victim, had earlier played the major role of Inspector Lestrade in the 1980 Sherlockian TV series Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson. And then he would later appear in a minor role in yet another Sherlockian series, the 1985 The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. That guy gets around Sherlock productions just as much as Sherlock himself. Fun little fact, Alan Cox's father, Brian Cox, I didn't even realise there was a link between Brian Cox and Alan Cox. I just thought they shared the same name. But Brian Cox appeared in The Strange Case of Sherlock Holmes and Arthur Conan Doyle from 2005 as Dr. Joseph Bell, the inspiration for Sherlock Holmes. Now, I'm not entirely sure if this is true or not, but it's apparently stated that it could be an in-joke to the actor Basil Rathbone having played Sherlock Holmes that the name is Wraith. I should probably say, by the way, at some point in the film, nearer the beginning, I say about the narrator sounding very familiar to me. And I kept wondering why. And I don't know if I said kind of sounds like a voiceover I've heard before. I knew the actor, I knew the guy who did the voice, and I knew that it was something that I'd kind of grown up with, but I couldn't put my finger on it. And in my head I was kept going over things thinking it must have been a voiceover role or something. Turns out it's from the one and only Paddington Bear show from many years back. And the man, the actor himself, is Michael Hordern. Oh, speaking of Indiana Jones earlier, by the way, Anthony Higgins also plays in Raiders of the Lost Ark as well. Right, guys, I think that is everything. That is all the trivia that I've got for you today for Young Sherlock Holmes from 1985. It's been an amazing time watching this film, finding out all the little background bits of history and like about the CGI character that was in there, that which is fantastic. Also, hope you really enjoyed all of the little extra bits that I add into these videos for the trivia section itself. It takes me a long time to put these together, genuinely a long time to put these together because I do all of it myself. So I massively appreciate you guys being here, watching this and enjoying these sections as well. Quite a few of you say that you do enjoy these as well as the main video itself. Okay, last but not least, something that I really wanted to look into, because now we've read up all of the trivia for Sherlock Holmes, so I kind of wanted to delve a little bit into the Harry Potter side of it to see what the deal is behind the two being quite similar. So I had to look this up because I feel like I made reference to the Harry Potter soundtrack within this film, but it turns out this soundtrack is not done by John Williams, even though to me there are certain parts, certain phrases within this, like musical phrases, that feel very John Williams-esque. The soundtrack to this film is apparently done by Bruce Broughton. He's got a long-standing history with films, but it reminded me so much of Harry Potter, and I feel like there has been some inspiration from Young Sherlock Holmes put into the writing of Harry Potter, the books themselves, or at least the films themselves. Well, apparently Chris Columbus did in fact heavily borrow from Young Sherlock Holmes, and he has admitted it for the way that he directed the first two films anyway. So Chris Columbus has admitted that he heavily borrowed from Young Sherlock Holmes when it came to directing the two Harry Potter movies that he did. He cited that this film is an influence to his direction for those films and says that was sort of a predecessor to this movie in a sense. And this is what he told the BBC in 2001. It was about two young boys and a girl in a British boarding school who had a fight with a supernatural force. Scenes from Young Sherlock Holmes were subsequently used to cast the first Harry Potter film. On the 3rd of January 2010, Irish journalist Declan Lynch, writing in the Sunday Independent, stated that there's more than a hint of young Sherlock evident in Harry. And by the way, this is in no way that I'm saying that Chris Columbus ripped off Young Sherlock Holmes. I think that's all I'll go into it, because whilst there are quite a few similarities and it is really interesting to look at those, this is obviously its own film, its own thing, and it's not to do with that franchise. This is Young Sherlock Holmes. With all of that being said and done though, as you well know, if you've seen right to the end of this video, which you have done because you are watching me say this, then thank you so much for being here. But there is a way you can let me know that you have seen it all the way through by using a little secret phrase, and I like to do this in my film reactions. It's just a fun little thing. If you're leaving a comment down below, then feel free to let me know also the secret phrase which I've thought so much about, and I feel like this is a very Sherlock phrase and it works really well, and they even mention it in this film as well as it actually being a Sherlock phrase, and that is "the game is afoot." That's it, that's the phrase. So if you're leaving a comment, then feel free to put that in there with it. Just put "the game is afoot," or you can even just put that as a comment. You don't have to leave any other comment, you can just put "the game is afoot." You don't have to, but I'd really appreciate it if you did. But again, alongside that, if you would like to as well, feel free to like the video if you did like it, because it lets me know that you do like this kind of thing, you do love this kind of film. But also, do you have any specific Sherlock versions do you really like? Maybe there's something that you'd love me to check out. I've unfortunately seen a lot of Sherlock stuff, but again, as always, I massively appreciate you guys being here. Hope you have a wonderful day, hope you have a wonderful week, whatever you're going to be doing and whatever time of year you're watching this as well. If you guys would love to check out the full uncut reaction to this, you can do over on the Patreon page or as a YouTube member as well. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. Take care, stay safe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye. If you're still here to the very end, then thank you so much, and also a huge thank you to my wonderful patrons: Roger C. Griffith, Douglas Collier, Terry V, Miggy Love, Chris Holmes, Jojo, Thomas Masters, Shoehorn1234, Res, Patrick Durr, Andrew Blount, Carlos, Marla Mize, Rob, Chandra Blair, Scott, Paul Zawicki, Randy, Kirsten, Juan Pablo Camero, JL, Maggie, Freya Alexandra, Milo, Miranda, Edna, Gina Aman, Tess Avaland, Olivia, Maria Stoicheva, Neno, Megan Janoviak, Rainy Tomo, Strawberry Tree, Kirsten Bailey, Boobly Boo, Louise Vanderhoven, Aubrey Terry, Wraithist, Heidi Steele, City D, Bumblebee, Joshua, Jesse, Rena Burra, Meat, Lolita Verbakovskia, Eli, Holly Jeffries, Alenka Hafner, HM Garth, Chloe Grover, Neb, Kyle Baker, Abby Barker, Tom Tattershall, Kristen Olds, Tilly Chum, Laura Hutchison, Tara M. Wilcoxon, Sazzy Nation, Ferdinand Pitchard, Jim McKay, Sphere, Mel Days, Fran in the Pen, BG, Tara, Rags and Muffins, Nameless Human Being, Deb, Philippa Chapman, Emily, Panda, David Wayne Fox, Jessica Asakovich, Sue Pro, Naja in Workshop, Mike Tunnicliffe, Wolfgang Wolf, Lee, Harvey, Ankame, Aninia, Evan G, Violet Aurora, Pamela Chandler Rash, Scott Howard, Joshua, Robert Williams, Steve Webster, Amanda, Lipaz, Jamie Dodds, King, Happy Go Lucky, Caitlin, Analytical Guy, Maria Torres, Cliff Adams, Jonathan, Dirk, Annie Bonds, Crystal Appleby, Scorpius, Monica Murphy, Sebastian St-Ange, Varga, Leslie McKittrick, Nick Stark, Number 1 Carez, Jen, Biff McKeldin, Birgit, Stephanie Collins, Emily, Ken Duncan, Max, Helena Klitsch, Amy Quattlebar, Ry Levi, Wayne DeFries, JJ, Mikhail Augustine Reed, Malcolm Hope, Lee Hallam, Bill Waite, and Charlie Elkin. If you'd like to see more videos, there's some more on the screen right now. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and see you next time.